The unforgiving grip of the Korean winter was a constant, brutal companion, but far colder than the frost-bitten air was the chilling shadow of a larger war. It hung over us, a palpable dread, heavier than any bomber's payload. We were not just fighting a battle. We were walking a tightrope over the abyss of global conflict. Every decision weighted with the potential to ignite a firestorm that would consume the world. Our intelligence reports painted a grim picture. Over 100,000 Chinese troops, seasoned and relentless, were poised in North Korea, a dormant volcano threatening to erupt. They were a formidable force, and their strategic lifeline ran across the Yalu River, a series of bridges that funneled men and material directly into the heart of the conflict. General MacArthur, with his characteristic boldness, had already dispatched B-29s to sever these arteries, but the initial attempts had been frustrating failures. The bombs falling wide, the bridges standing defiant. Time was running out. Every passing hour brought the enemy closer, making our position more precarious, the stakes impossibly higher. A new mission was briefed, a daring gambit born of desperation and strategic brilliance. It wasn't just about hitting the bridges. It was about precision, about timing, about navigating a minefield of geopolitical consequences. Our primary objective: neutralize the formidable anti-aircraft defenses nestled within Sinuiju City. Only then, with those teeth pulled, could we hope to effectively bomb the two critical bridges spanning the Yalu. The air in the briefing room was thick with tension as our commanding officer, General Evans, leaned forward, his gaze sweeping across our faces. His voice, usually booming, was now a low, intense growl. Listen closely, gentlemen. This is not just about destroying targets. This is about restraint. This is about the future of the world. He pointed to a large, detailed map, his finger tracing the Yalu River, and stopping abruptly at the Chinese side. Your orders are absolute. You will not, under any circumstances, drop a single bomb, fire a single round, or even cross the river into Chinese territory. Do you understand? Not a single hair on the Chinese side is to be touched. We are preventing an invasion, not starting another world war. Any deviation from these orders will have catastrophic consequences, not just for you, but for every man, woman, and child on this planet. The line is drawn. Do not cross it. The gravity of his words hung in the air, a silent, suffocating weight. We weren't just pilots. We were diplomats of destruction, tasked with an impossible balance. Among the crews assembled, Captain Jack Miller, call sign Maverick 201, was our lead. A veteran, his face etched with the lines of countless missions, he carried the burden of command with a quiet stoicism. Beside him, Lieutenant Ben Davis, Maverick 205, a younger pilot, was his wingman, his eyes alight with a blend of apprehension and fierce determination. We knew the odds. We knew the risk. But as we pulled on our heavy flight suits, the cold seeping into our bones, there was an unspoken resolve that knitted us together. We were a brotherhood of the sky, bound by duty and the desperate hope of turning the tide. The air on the runway was biting, the wind howling a mournful tune as our B-29s, behemoths of the sky, rumbled to life. The roar of the engines was a symphony of power, a defiant challenge to the silent, watchful night. We climbed, the ground falling away beneath us, the lights of the base shrinking into pinpricks of defiance against the encroaching darkness. The cold inside the unheated cabin was intense, a constant reminder of the hostile environment we were entering. As we ascended through the turbulent air, Captain Miller's voice crackled over the intercom, calm and steady, guiding us into formation. Then, without warning, a jolt. A sudden, violent shudder ripped through Maverick 201. Engine 3 is losing power. Miller's voice, though still calm, now carried an edge of urgency. We're experiencing significant mechanical failure. I can't maintain lead. My heart sank. The lead aircraft, the Pathfinder, crippled before we even reached enemy lines. Maverick 205, This is 201. Your lead, Ben. Take us in. Lieutenant Davis, our young wingman, was now thrust into the crucible of command. A moment of stunned silence, then his voice, surprisingly clear and resolute, cut through the static. Copy that, Maverick 201. Maverick 205 is lead. All birds, maintain formation. Let's get this done. The weight of the mission, the lives of his squadron, the fate of the war, it all rested on his shoulders now. There was no time for doubt, no room for hesitation. He adjusted his course, his eyes fixed on the distant horizon, a point where the blackness of the sky merged with the shadowed land. We flew in disciplined silence, the only sounds the rhythmic hum of our engines and the occasional crackle of the radio. As we neared Sinuju City, the landscape below began to transform, the faint outlines of structures emerging from the darkness. The city, a sleeping dragon, seemed to hold its breath. Then, without warning, the night exploded. Streaks of fiery red and yellow ripped through the blackness, converging on us with terrifying speed. Anti-aircraft fire, a torrent of lead and shrapnel, a deadly fireworks display designed to tear us from the sky. The cockpit was bathed in the flickering light of explosions, the constant thud of rounds impacting our fuselage, a terrifying percussion. Evasive maneuvers, engage. Davis's voice was a roar now, cutting through the chaos. Our gunners returned fire, their tracers arcing into the night, seeking out the unseen enemy batteries below. It was a deadly dance, a ballet of destruction, our aircraft twisting and turning, trying to evade the deadly embrace of the flak while simultaneously unleashing our own fury. Minutes stretched into an eternity. The sky was a maelstrom of fire and smoke, the air thick with the smell of cordite. But slowly, painstakingly, the enemy fire began to falter. One by one, the red streaks diminished, the explosions lessened, until finally, an eerie silence descended once more. The anti-aircraft defenses of Sinuju City were silenced. We had cleared the path. With the immediate threat subdued, our focus shifted to the primary targets, the bridges. They loomed ahead, dark, skeletal structures against the faint glow of the distant horizon. Lieutenant Davis, his breathing heavy but his resolve unwavering, guided Maverick 205 into position. He had navigated us through the storm, and now he was going for the kill. I could almost hear his internal monologue, the raw instinct of a pilot to finish the job, to deliver the decisive blow that would truly cripple the enemy. He lined up his approach, the crosshairs steady on the first bridge. The moment was ripe, the opportunity undeniable. But then, a sharp, urgent voice sliced through the radio, overriding all other sounds, cutting through the tension with the force of a thunderclap. It was General Evans, his voice laced with an undeniable authority that brooked no argument. Maverick 205, this is command. Abort the attack on the bridges. I repeat, abort the attack. The command hung in the air, a stunning, unexpected blow. Davis hesitated for a fraction of a second, his finger hovering over the release button, the target perfectly aligned. The natural instinct was to press on, to complete the mission, to strike the enemy where it hurt most. But then, the memory of General Evans's briefing, the explicit orders, the chilling warning about a global war, flooded his mind. The line, the invisible yet impenetrable line. With a visible effort, he pulled back, his aircraft veering away from the target, the bombs still secured in the belly of the plane. The bridges stood untouched. The mission, in its most direct sense, was incomplete. Yet, in that moment of profound restraint, a deeper, more profound victory had been achieved. We hadn't just avoided an enemy trap. We had avoided a global catastrophe. We had proven that true strength wasn't just about the power to destroy, but the courage to hold back, the wisdom to choose restraint over immediate gratification, and the discipline to obey a command that transcended the battlefield.